You don't want Destiny 3. What you really want is to be ignorant again. Now, mentioning Destiny 3 is like opening Pandora's box because so many players feel like Destiny 2 has ran its course, and that the only option that will ever get them interested in the franchise again is a new game in the series. Now, me personally, I agree. I absolutely want to see Destiny 3, but I feel like it's not going to end up the way people hope it will. Now, the biggest problem with Destiny at the moment is not the lack of content, it's not that Destiny is a bad game. Hold your comments. It's that by and large, the game has been figured out and nothing can surprise us anymore. The game we all love, it doesn't create emotion. It's just flowing through the same things over and over again we've been through 1,000 times, and we are no longer ignorant of that. Now, what I might say might be difficult to do, but put yourself in the shoes of a new player, a novice who has no experience with the game. They don't have it figured out. Their ignorance will ultimately lead to a more enjoyable experience for them. Take loot for example. A player with 1,000 hours will know exactly what to look for. They'll know the difference between a 4 out of 5 and a 5 out of 5 god roll. They will chase perfection every time, even if it's for minimal gains. Now, these new players, they won't care about the small differences in loot. They'll just care that they had it dropped for them in the first place. Someone who's playing today for the very first time will get a mighty mini tool, and they won't have the comparison of the previous iterations. To them, it's a brand new weapon. To the experienced player, it's just a reissued gun we've already seen before. So my question to you is, how long until Destiny 3 feels the exact same way? How long until that game is figured out? Now, this same idea can be applied to so many aspects of Destiny 2. Raids that were once challenging to you or me are now a cakewalk that only take 45 minutes max, because every experienced player knows to speedrun through every jumping puzzle with an eager-edged sword. A new player will struggle. Their inexperience will lead to adversity, and by overcoming adversity you experience joy through your accomplishments. Those novice raiders will take in the smaller moments that us veterans tend to skip. They'll die, time and time again, to the King's Fall Dickwall jumping puzzle. A short moment in raids that bring newfound experiences for them, experience that I think many of us wish we could get back. Now, as I said earlier, putting yourself in the shoes of a new player is difficult, but you gotta ask yourself, is this game really that bad? Or are we all just becoming so knowledgeable in a game because it's a decade old now, and there's just nothing new that can surprise us? I feel like Renegades was a real turning point regarding this thought process because we knew everything we were expected to get before the DLC was even released. Content creators making videos on dungeon loot before the dungeon was even out. How am I, as someone who has played this game a lot, gonna get excited for loot? I've already had people predetermined for me if it's good or bad or not. Knowing ruins the joy. The experience of finding something new is less appealing when all the pieces have already been figured out. Now, don't take what I've said to be a dig on content creators, because at the end of the day, they're just doing their jobs, making content on this game. And any one of us would take the opportunities that they have. Because if I was given an opportunity to fly out the Bungie, best believe I am making 30 videos on each individual piece of grass on the newly added version of Venus. Now, going back to Destiny 3 for a second, how long until that's figured out? When the appeal of the new player experience wears off, and we're looking back on Destiny 2 fondly the same way people hold Destiny 1 in such high regards. We live in such a completely different era than when Destiny 1 released. Information travels faster, and knowledge spreads like wildfire to a point where it's almost impossible to be ignorant anymore. We experience Destiny through a hyperactive lens that isn't blurry or muddy, and it leaves little to no room for interpretation. We see everything so clear. Destiny 3 won't solve this problem. The newness of a weapon will run its course fast, and the allure of that weapon will turn into looking for the 5 out of 5 god roll for it. And inevitably that weapon will become a dust collector in your vault, because soon the meta list will be formed and weapons you chase in the first place will become less interesting by comparison to what's meta at the moment. How long will a new strike hold you? How long until you know every spawn of a fallen enemy? How long can Destiny 3 hold you if the moment it releases everyone is in a scramble for information? Now, this may be a hot take, but raids and dungeons have run their course for me. How many stand-on plates or reading symbol encounters will hold you? This is not to say these pieces of content are bad, but how much of a difference would a raid in Destiny 3 be compared to Destiny 2? We don't need a Destiny 3, we need to feel ignorant again. We need to feel surprised. Something like the epic Desert Perpetual raid with a final encounter being something different, that was a shocking moment. That was surprise. Even if it was still just another raid encounter, that was new. That was unique. That is something that we need to feel again. We need the ability to feel small again in a big world. We need to be in a world without experts who create and manage spreadsheets of information, noting every incremental difference on what's good and what's not. We need a game full of novices again, a game of ignorant people. Now, that's something that only lasts so long, and in the age of the internet, it lasts even less. People hold Destiny 1 in the early days of D2 in such high regards because people still had things to learn, things to experience. People were still ignorant back then. They were new players, and sometimes I wish I could experience Destiny now rather than having growing up with it. Not because I don't cherish the memories I made, but to enjoy that experience of learning again. You know, like the saying goes, ignorance is bliss. So my question to you is, how long will Destiny 3 truly keep you happy after you've figured it all out? And how long until Destiny 3 just feels like Destiny 2 all over again? Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. I appreciate every single one of you who watches my videos. I am grateful just to be able to yap to a microphone and have at least one person watch the video. Thank you.